Hi, this is David from Mash IT. Well, this seems to be Legion week, because after earlier this week reviewing the Legion 5 Pro, today we're going to be looking at its more expensive sibling, the Legion 7. So this is Lenovo's high-end Legion gaming model, which is available in either a 5800H or 5900H Ryzen 8-core CPU, and it comes with an RTX 3060, 3070 or 3080 graphics card. And the good news is Lenovo has given each of these their respective highest wattages. There's no max Q here. The model we selected for this review is the mid-range 5800H with an 140 watt 3070 at the helm. The retail price of this model is £1,649 in the UK. Looking around the laptop, you see a sleek laptop that screams RGB gamer with lights everywhere. But with a quick hotkey, the RGB can be disabled, leaving you with a quite professional looking laptop. If, like me, you like the RGB, then this machine has it everywhere, from the keyboard to the light strip that goes right around the perimeter of the machine into the fan grills, and even the little Legion logo on the top has a touch of RGB. In a dark room, this looks great. I love the rainbow effect it comes with out of the box, but with a quick tap of the function plus spacebar, you can switch to another inbuilt effect. This model, despite the higher tier parts, is actually slimmer than the cheaper Legion 5 Pro. Lenovo managed to do this by using a vapor chamber cooler. And whilst we're looking inside, I also want to point out the fact it has two upgradable RAM slots, a socketed Wi-Fi card, and two M.2 SSD bays that both come with the heatsinks and the screws provided, even if you only order it with one SSD. The laptop feels solid with a nice heft at 2.49 kilograms, and it's predominantly metal except for the slim screen bezels and the fan vents. The screen easily opens with one hand, and it will also pivot right back 180 degrees, making it really great even if you're using it on your lap. The laptop has a good selection of ports with a headset jack and a USB-C on the left, another USB-C port on the right, along with a slider that disables the webcam for the hacker conscious among us. The rear has a power jack, three USB 3 ports, an HDMI 2.1 port, a USB-C with power delivery and an Ethernet port. Now I will be testing the power delivery in a deep dive video coming soon, so make sure you're subscribed if you wish to watch that video. And whilst we're looking at the rear ports, I also want to point out a little detail which I find incredibly handy, which is the fact that the rear ports have a lit symbol above them, which makes it really easy to locate your ports even in a dark room. This saves a lot of fumbling over the back of your computer trying to plug something in. Moving to the laptop's deck, we have a glass precision touchpad, which glides well and responds perfectly to the gestures, making the laptop useful even when you don't have your external mouse handy. You'll also find a full-size keyboard with per-key RGB, though you will need to use the iCUE software to fully control this, which does cause the battery life to plummet. But to be honest, I've found that the inbuilt effects are pretty good, and I don't even use the iCUE software, so that is not an issue for me at all. Another handy feature is by pressing the function key, all of your action keys are lit up. This makes it really easy to find the useful functions such as switching the refresh rate, turning off the lighting, or switching your power profile. Now with this laptop you get the True Strike keyboard, which gives you a soft stroke and a deeper key press. But if I'm honest, I prefer a keyboard with a little more pressure, but it is still a good typing experience and the layout is great. We have the power button above the keyboard, and this lights up the colour of the performance profile that you're in, and we will discuss this further in the performance section. The speakers, although down-firing, sound good, and I've been happily gaming on them. But as always with laptop speakers, you're going to want to plug in headphones or speakers if you're listening to music or actually doing some serious gaming. The screen is the same 16-inch panel we also have in the Legion 5 Pro, and the screen is an absolute joy to behold and one of the key selling points for these laptops. Firstly, it's a 16 by 10-inch screen, which anyone who is using the laptop for work or web surfing, as well as the gaming, they're going to appreciate that. For movie watchers out there, yes, you're going to have black bars, but the trade-off is well worth it in my opinion. Gaming on the screen is absolutely amazing with a 165Hz G-Sync panel and 500 nits of brightness. It's also got a mux switch so you can have the dedicated GPU on so there's extra frames whilst you're gaming, and the 2560 by 1600 resolution is perfect for a better image quality that the RTX 3000 series can still drive. We have the usual low quality webcam, and it sounds like this. And this is what the webcam and the microphones look and sound like on the Legion 7 laptop. And there's no Windows Hello facial recognition, which is a real shame, but we do get Tobii eye tracking software in case you have any of those games which can take advantage of it. Performance of this machine is amazing. The vapor chamber is certainly doing its job here, and the Ryzen 5800H and 140 watt 37 cuts through all of our benchmark, easily beating the Legion 5 Pro base model and the M15i5, which we previously reviewed with the same specs as this machine. The fan noise, whilst only hitting a peak of 53 decibels, is a comfortable hum that blends in rather than the high-pitched whine that you get on other slim gaming laptops such as the Razer Blade. The keyboard remains comfortable under use, and the bottom stays cool enough to use on your lap whilst using it in balance mode, even when gaming. When using the laptop for light tasks, you will hear the fans as they never turn off, but unless you are incredibly sensitive to fan noise, it won't be an issue. The good news is, it doesn't suddenly ramp up like a jet engine when you load a heavy web page or moderately use the CPU like installing a few apps. Now with this laptop, it does come with 3 power profiles. Blue mode is balanced. You want to use this for your office, watching movies, and this will obviously give you increased battery life when you're on battery, but you will not want to game in this mode. It severely throttles the CPU. Then you've got your balance mode, which is for your everyday gaming. Your fans will be a little bit quieter, but it does cap your GPU down a little bit. And lastly, you've got your performance mode, which shows up as red on the power button. This is the mode you probably want to stay in when you're gaming. And I found that it doesn't make the machine that much louder, but you get the full 140 watts on the GPU, and you get the full power of your Ryzen 5800 or 5900H.
Let's land here. Let's find something good.
Okay, so we've got Apex running. We're running at the full resolution of 2560 by 1600. Nice and smooth, getting about 130 odd frames per second. This is all high settings. The temps are really good considering that we're running a Ryzen 5800H at full pelt, and also the RTX 3070 at 140 watts. This is also due to the vapor chamber cooling.
The champion has been eliminated.
So I'm just going to put the decibel meter on. So you can see max fans are between 52 and 53 decibels. It's quite pleasant because it's more of a whoosh than a high-pitched fan noise, as I mentioned earlier. So it is quite loud, but it's not distracting. And once you've got a gaming headset on, you won't even hear it.
I changed my mind.
Now the keyboard itself, the WASD keys are cool to the touch. It's great. So you can see the keyboard is very cool on the WASD keys. It's 41 degrees nearer the center, which is, it's warm, it's not hot. And then we get back off to 38 degrees over on the right. Over by the power button where it gets a bit hotter, 43 degrees, so that's the hottest on the top. Which again, you know, you can still put your hands on it, it's not going to burn you. But you know, this isn't an area where you normally keep your fingers anyway. So playing at the full 600p, absolutely no problems now. Apex isn't the heaviest game. But as I say, well, I would say on average about 100 odd frames per second. So quite impressive. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to switch it to 1200p to see what it looks like off mesh, just in case you've got some AAA games that don't play well at 1600p. So if I go into settings, I'll pop this down to 1200p and apply. So running at 1920 by 1200 now, we're running off mesh over the original 2560 by 1600, but this still looks brilliant at 1200p. So if you are running a game that cannot run at its full native resolution, being a high DPI screen, it still looks brilliant. And also the good news is it's no problems running at the full 140 watts on the RTX, and the AMD Ryzen 5800H doesn't throttle and will run its full 4200 MHz most of the time. So a well-designed cooling system on this Legion 7 with this vapor chamber. No problems running this combination at all. I think that also if you get the 3080, I don't see this being a problem either. With regards to battery life, it can be really good, providing you take a few steps to achieve it. Firstly, make sure you're not using the iQ software. That's a real battery killer, and hopefully one day Lenovo will actually fix this issue. You also need to be sure that you enable hybrid mode, as the discrete mode will also kill your battery as you would expect. And lastly, you need to use function R, which switches your refresh rate from 165 Hz to 60 Hz. And after doing all of this, you can expect about 8 hours of battery life, 50% brightness, streaming movies or music over Wi-Fi. No matter which configuration you select, you'll receive this large 300 watt power brick. But though it is large, it slips nicely into a bag. Of course, if you want to take this to school or work, you could just use a smaller USB-C power pack thanks to the PD port. Just don't expect to get full performance on power delivery. Okay, so that brings me to the conclusion, and I have to say I'm incredibly impressed with this laptop. For the price of £1,649, you're getting an incredibly powerful gaming laptop that fits a 16-inch screen into the same size chassis as last year's 50-inch Legion 7. The whole package exudes quality, and it's all the little features like the lit-up rear port symbols, the amazing RGB, pressing the function key to light up all the commands, the webcam slider, and the screen. Wow, that screen. It all adds up to make this one amazing laptop. Now, of course, no laptop is perfect, and yes, the iQ software will drain battery life, and being a Ryzen laptop, it won't have Thunderbolt, and that power pack is pretty large. But none of these small issues take away from what is, in my opinion, one of the best laptops of 2021. The actual hardest part is actually getting hold of it as they sell out so quickly. So let me know what you think of this laptop. Do you think this laptop is the best laptop of 2021? Would you prefer the Legion 5 Pro? And do you think we should do a Legion 5 Pro versus the Legion 7? Let me know in the comment section down below, and thank you for watching.